let's just start. So the first thing on the agenda, hi Sijuan. The first thing here, I added this topic. So the idea is to see if we could have some parity with the KK level for triage issues. Because currently we have what's the label that we have? Triage, stage triage, and in KK they have triage accepted. So some time ago in a community meeting maybe, or maybe it was in a triage meeting, we said that we wanted to be able to leverage the Kate's bot for triage. The problem is that we don't have parity, so we're not using triage accepted. And apparently from the discovery from this contributor, Roger, we actually need to adopt, if we want to enable the bot, we need to adopt their labels. So
Okay.
the
No any objection from me.
yeah, so the question will be like, does anybody is there any objection if we change the labels? And if we do change the labels, I think we need like someone with right access to the repository to create the new labels.
Yeah, I see the table just the new label. So can you update the comments to make sure what's the old label? Need to change the new label. For
Okay,
example, the
so
first one probably triage. What's the old label? I forgot the name. So I needed the mapping from the old to the new.
okay, the mapping to what we have, and one of the things that it has been a recurring issue in our triage meetings is that we're not the best. I mean, also because our team is way smaller than Kubernetes, so we don't use the triage labels that much. But if we want to start adopting stuff like this, we will need to be more adamant into actually doing like putting the labels to everything. And so also when we have the triage meetings, it will be easier to know what we have triaged before and what we haven't. So yeah, that's if nobody.
So if I understand correctly, the benefit is we can use the Kubernetes bots, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that means that every time we receive a bug and we actually accept the bug, so we will need to do the triage accepted. You know, like how they do it in KK. Because right now we sometimes add the label, we sometimes don't add it, and then
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah,
mhm.
I agree. Okay,
Okay,
no
so
problem.
then we just document what we need to do, and then you also wanna a comparison, right? So let me just add here.
Yeah, it's mapping from the old to new label.
And then document the triaging process to fully utilize the bot. So the team follows the all right, so cool. So I guess now we can move to the next topic. Ben.
Yeah, can you open the link?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the summary. Yeah, this detailed summary of the issue. Okay, so anyway, the issue is related to the learner promotion operation. Okay, the issue only exists in the LCD 3.6. LCD 3.5 doesn't have this issue. 3.4, 3.5 are good. Only 3.6 has this issue. So it's only related to learner promotion operation. So for example, when you, in the beginning, you have only one member in the cluster, you add second learner and promote, and then add the third learner and promote, and then you remove the second learner. So afterward, when you restart the first member, so when the member gets restarted, the member will replay all the record from the start, because in the beginning, there's no any V2 snapshot. It will replay all the raw record. So when it replay the learner promotion operation, but the problem is it will check whether or not the member exists or not. If the member doesn't exist, it will not replay the promotion operation. But the problem is it checked the member whether it exists or not. It checked the exist against the V3 store. But when it's going to update V2 store, so it doesn't match. So yeah, but this is a long story. Anyway, we already fixed this in 3.6. So we need to release 3.6.4.
Yeah, so yeah, we had the pull request.
Already merged.
Yeah, we merged it, I
Yeah.
guess earlier today.
Yeah, today.
So you also have the chain log. When should we? Okay, I missed this notification, but should we? I guess we wanna do it like very soon, right?
I think, you know, the Kubernetes code freeze is already happened today.
Yes.
Probably, yeah. So we are not going to catch the code freeze. So I think it'd be good as long as we can release 3.6.4 next week, by the end of next week.
Okay. Josh.
Oh,
you
okay.
have-
The what? Sorry.
Yeah,
One
no,
point.
this is important. That's what the exception process is for.
Yes.
You know, based on discussion with Kubernetes release team and the maintainer, you know, this is the bug fix. So we can also bump the actual version after the code free is okay. But we need to make sure we get it finished before the Kubernetes cut the 1.34 branch. I recall they will cut the branch probably in 6th of August. So we need to get it finished by before that. So so in short, please release as soon as possible. We should have some room to bump the actual version in Kubernetes repo.
Yeah, I'm fine if so. I mean, I don't have a lot of things today. I think it will be a bit rushed to release today, but I can create the planning issue and then I could also do it tomorrow. I'm gonna reach out to James to see if he's available tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the next Monday, Tuesday should be also okay.
Okay. Yeah, but I guess ideally if we could have it this week because it's taking so it's also my first time. Okay, so maybe we can discuss that in the next topic that you added. All right, so the idea here is to release release 3.6.4 as early as next week or soon, ideally early next week. Let me so then all right. Anything else for that topic?
No, I believe no.
Okay, then let's move on to the next one. So then this this pull request is stalled in here, and so the story about like this releases like 3.5.3.6.4 and 3.5.22 in KK is that we released on Tuesday, James and we released 3.6.3 and 3.5.22. And then I told him I'm gonna do the Kubernetes part because we have the documentation, and I wanted to double check or corroborate that the documentation was accurate. and if not, update the documentation, because I've never, so first, I've never done it before. Second, I wanted to ensure that the documentation was actually what we needed to do. So that's why I initiated this, but the documentation doesn't say, and I don't think if it happens a lot, that, or if it happened with 3.5 and 3.4, that we also need to bump 3.4. Like, well, we had 3.5 was the latest version. If what happens when you bump 3.4, and so, and I do remember speaking with Marek in robustness meeting, and we said that we wanted to release actually 3.6, 3.4, 3.5, and 3.4 because it has the notification fix. And then we just release in tandem 3.5 and 3.6. So the idea was, okay, so now 3.5 is out, 3.5.22 is out. So now we need to update it because it also had that bug fix for that Kubernetes called utilize. But I don't know if I maybe misunderstood the process, and we shouldn't be doing this. Someone else should be doing, or like exactly what are the steps that we should be doing, because according to our documentation, we need to do 2 steps. That it's pump the client SDK that it's in the go mode, and then pump the etcd image that is the one that involves like doing all the like creating the like building the image, pushing the image, and then updating to use that image.
Okay, let me summarize.
Mhm.
The problem, when each time when we bump etcd version in Kubernetes, there are 2 things. One is bump the SDK to bump the Go model file. The second thing is bump the etcd image. Bump etcd image have 3 steps. The first is build image. The second is publish image, and use the image. But the problem is we have never bumped the old etcd version in Kubernetes auto release. We have never done that before. We always, previously, we have, 3.5. 3.5 have been already there for 4 years. So in the past 4 years, we have never bumped old minor, for example, old minor etcd version in old Kubernetes release. We have never done that before. This is a problem. But when we build etcd image in Kubernetes, we can only use the master branch. If already built 3.6 etcd image in the master branch, now we need to build 3.5 image. So in the master branch, it looks like the etcd version just decreased. This is weird. This is the only concern.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought the same thing. So it's like we're gonna decrease it to 3.5, and like basically it's this step, right? So we're gonna decrease it from 3.6 something to 3.6. I forgot. I think we already have 3.6.3, and then we're gonna decrease it to 3.5.22, but it's just to bump the image. So in somewhere it says like latest image.
Yeah, you know what? We only, I don't see any issue to follow this step to bump 3.5.22 into Kubernetes 1.33. But the problem is in the first step, when we build image, we use the Kubernetes master branch to build the 3.5.22. So when the first step finished, so the etcd version will decrease in Kubernetes master branch. This is a concern. Okay, in the next and the third step, I think we are good. We just bumped etcd version 3.5.22 in Kubernetes 1.33. We are all good. In the future, when we bump the etcd, well, in the future, for example, next week, when the etcd 3.6.4 is released, we will build etcd 3.6.4 image in the Kubernetes. By that time, the etcd version will be reverted to 3.6. So I think we should be good. We should bump 3.5.22 first and bump the 3.6.4 later. But yeah, for this specific case, we can follow this. But in the long term, probably we should have generic, probably more better approach
So
to
so
resolve
in,
this.
I mean, what we're already working on is so removing this part because we want to push straight to the Kate's registry. I think Joshua is doing the work on that. So basically to push the image, it's gonna be straight from our release script. So we're gonna eliminate this build and publish etcd image. These
Yeah,
two
this is a long
steps are
term.
gonna yes, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we're just gonna maybe need to do something in here. So keep the latest step maybe.
Yeah, for the for the long term, for for the long term, we will eventually use the LCD official released image, but this long term goal. So I don't know how. Probably I don't think we can achieve this anytime soon. So anyway, I don't see any issue. Just follow the existing process. Just bump the 3522 in
So
build. Yeah.
okay, so question, when we used to have 3.5 and 3.4 together and we did 3.4 releases, who was doing so were we just, I mean, technically it has always been them. So we've almost like never did this ourselves. But so again, so my point is, does it make sense to keep my pull request to try to bump to 3.522, or should I just drop them?
Personally, I would like to merge the PR and then bump the 3.5.22 into Kubernetes 1.33. This is my goal. But I don't have approval permission.
Yes,
So this is the problem. So
it seems like everybody's hesitant to approve. I guess it's because it's weird that we're decreasing the version, but it's just to build the image and send it to the registry.
Well, anyway, in the worst case, if nobody approves this PR, eventually this PR get closed. So I don't think it's a critical thing. So
okay,
from the user perspective, when the user upgrade from LCD 3.5 to 3.6, there is an upgrade checklist. The user need to make sure the checklist all passed before the upgrade to 3.6, right? So one of the item in the checklist is make sure there's no any custom content in the V2 store. So if the LCD version is still on the old version, for example 3.5.21, the check may fail. But actually, there's not any custom content in the V2 store. It's a false result. So the user may be thinking, oh, I cannot upgrade to 2.6, but actually he can. So this is only concern for if we don't bump 2.5.22 into the 1.33. But anyway, it's not big, it's not critical issue. But yeah,
okay.
anyway, I will let's just drive it.
I may have misunderstood because again I spoke with Marek. We spoke in the robustness meeting, and then I thought that this was like something that like 2024.5, the one that the issue with the watch notification, that was something that they wanted to address. And then when I tried, so in my other pull request that I'm trying to bump the dependency in the release 133 branch, it's actually the tests that are failing.
Yeah, that's a different one. That's a totally different thing.
Okay.
For the business bump
okay.
SDK, you need to back out the tag. This is a tax issue in Kubernetes.
Yes, and again, it was my first time doing it, so it was like, okay, so I really don't know what to do here.
So anyway, the action for this item is, I think we should try to drive this effort. If in the worst case, if nobody supports this, eventually even it get closed. So it's not critical one to me.
Okay, so maybe what we should focus on is just 3.6 at this point. Sounds good.
So I have a question. Is it in the long term, is it expected to bump a patch version of KK previous release? Like, is it a regular thing? Is it or just one time thing?
I believe in the long term, we should deprecate and remove the LCD build and bump stuff in the Kubernetes repo. We should use LCD official release image directly So that's not an issue anymore in the long term.
Okay.
But the problem is there's no one just actually working on that.
It's Josh. I don't know if he's here, but he's working on that. Yeah, he's not here. Joshua.
Yeah, but we need to drive it. It's just hard to drive.
Yeah. I've been speaking with him. He's about to open and so he's been doing the discovery and now he's about to open an issue. So I've been discussing it with him a little bit. But so I guess one thing is building the image again, but the other thing is actually bumping the etcd version in KK. And I don't know if that's something that it's unclear to me. Should we
Yeah,
try?
for this, firstly, I think, we should update our release script to push the image to the Kubernetes registry in the
Yes.
first step, and also to push all the image to the registry, probably manually. For example, all the Field 5, Field 5, and Field 4 image to the Kubernetes repo and registry, firstly. And second step, we need to talk to all the user of the etcd image, for example, KOps and the kubeadm and the Kubernetes workflow to make sure they can use the etcd official release image directly.
So
yeah,
the latest from there is that KOps can use it. So Cyprian said that he gave the heads up. He checked, but I think we're just waiting. So I don't know if we have an answer from kubeadm.
KOps is not blocker anymore. The kubeadm is not the blocker. kubeadm and Kubernetes workflow. We need to raise the issue in the kubeadm community to discuss with them, to drive them to use etcd official release image. But anyway, in the first step, we should approach the etcd official release image to the Kubernetes registry firstly.
Yeah, but technically we also can't do it if they don't confirm if it works for them.
Yeah, it makes sense. Anyway, we need to raise the issue to discuss with them firstly.
So again, Joshua is about to open an issue, and then we can follow up that discussion there.
Yeah. Okay.
So then we discussed building the want to move the building steps to our release process, and then we need so the action item. So not to request this.
So in the second step, you move the build step to our release process. What build step? Do you want the build step in Kubernetes repo?
I mean, yeah. So transfer from KK to our release process, to our release script. So we're gonna push to registry K8s from our release script. That's the idea.
Okay.
Action item. We need to check with kubeadm. All right. All right. Yes. So we have 3 minutes. Any other? So anything else for this topic, or are we fine?
No,
cool.
Mommy.
Cool. So anything else? We have 2 more minutes. If there's nothing else, we can adjourn. So thanks everyone, and we'll see you next week for triage and in 2 weeks for another community meeting.